Welcome to Globewise TV. Hey movie lovers! Today, we're diving into a time capsule of cinematic wonders with 10 great underrated 80s sci-fi films absolutely worth rediscovering. These are the hidden gems of the 1980s, films that didn't always get the spotlight but are packed with mind-bending stories, epic visuals, and unforgettable adventures. From time travel thrills to futuristic battles, these underrated classics are guaranteed to spark nostalgia and ignite your imagination. Before we jump in, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into forgotten cinema history. And while you're at it, tell us in the comments which 80s sci-fi movie is your all-time favorite. We love hearing from you. Alright, let's power up the flux capacitor and explore these 80s sci-fi gems. 10. Solar Babies, 1986. Post-apocalyptic fun meets cosmic adventure. Imagine a future where the world has been drained of water and life is a daily struggle. Enter Solar Babies, a cult 80s sci-fi gem that combines post-apocalyptic drama, rebellious teens, and even a magical orphan dog named Bodhi. At first glance, it might seem like just another dystopian flick, but this film has layers that make it surprisingly endearing and unique. The story follows a group of kids who live in a controlled, oppressive society where adults rule with iron fists and creativity is stifled. But when they discover a mysterious glowing orb, their lives transform into a high-energy adventure filled with friendship, daring escapes, and hope for a brighter future. The kids, or Solar Babies, aren't just rebels. They symbolize youthful resilience and the spark of imagination in a bleak world. What makes Solar Babies unforgettable isn't just the setting, it's the mix of 80s sci-fi aesthetics, roller skating stunts, and a sense of optimism that was rare in dystopian stories of the time. Critics may have overlooked it, but fans of underrated 80s sci-fi know it's a visually inventive, heartwarming, and surprisingly fun ride. Whether you're drawn in by its neon-lit landscapes, quirky characters, or just the sheer nostalgia of 80s adventure films, Solar Babies deserves a spot in every retro sci-fi fan's watchlist. Rediscover it, and you'll find a story that's more than just a post-apocalyptic romp. It's a celebration of hope, teamwork, and the power of youth to challenge the impossible. Fun fact, the glowing orb in the movie wasn't just a prop, it inspired many fans to see Solar Babies as a metaphor for untapped potential and creativity, which makes this film more relevant today than ever. 9. The Navigator, A Medieval Odyssey, 1988. Imagine a medieval village gripped by the Black Plague, where despair has seeped into every corner. But suddenly, a group of villagers discovers a mysterious tunnel that seems to lead to the future. Yes, you heard that right, a medieval community stepping into a post-20th century world. The Navigator, A Medieval Odyssey, directed by the visionary Vincent Ward, is a mind-bending mix of historical drama, sci-fi adventure, and surreal fantasy. It's not just a time travel story, it's a film that explores hope, faith, and human resilience in the face of unimaginable odds. The stark contrast between the grim medieval landscapes and the futuristic cityscapes creates a visual experience unlike anything else from the 1980s. Despite its breathtaking visuals and deeply imaginative premise, this gem slipped under the radar when it was first released. Today, it stands as a testament to the audacious creativity of 80s cinema, a perfect blend of history and science fiction that feels both timeless and otherworldly. If you've never seen it, The Navigator is the kind of movie that sticks with you long after the credits roll. It challenges your imagination, keeps you on edge, and rewards those willing to take a leap into the unknown. Pro tip: watch it in one sitting with the lights off and headphones on. Every detail, from the haunting score to the surreal imagery, will transport you. 8. Cherry 2000, 1987. A dystopian quest for love in a robotic future. Imagine a world in 2017, well, at least how the 80s imagined it. A neon-drenched, post-apocalyptic wasteland where humans rely on high-tech companions to fill the voids of love and connection. This is the bizarre yet fascinating backdrop of Cherry 2000, a sci-fi adventure that blends romance, action, and dark humor in a way only the 80s could. The story follows Sam Treadwell, a heartbroken man whose robotic companion, yes, a literal android girlfriend named Cherry 2000, malfunctions. Refusing to accept reality, Sam embarks on a dangerous journey across the treacherous wasteland with a tough-as-nails tracker named E. Johnson, played by Melanie Griffith. Their mission? To find a rare replacement Cherry model in a lawless, tech-obsessed world. What makes Cherry 2000 unforgettable isn't just its campy visuals or neon-soaked sets. It's the sharp commentary on human relationships, obsession, and the price of artificial perfection. This film dared to ask, what does it truly mean to love in a world increasingly dominated by machines? And it did so with quirky humor, daring stunts, and enough 80s synth magic to keep you glued to the screen. Despite being overlooked at the time, Cherry 2000 has grown a cult following among sci-fi fans who appreciate its unique mix of dystopia, romance, and offbeat adventure. It's the kind of hidden gem that feels futuristic, timeless, and just a little bit wild, all at once. Fun fact, the film's vision of a neon-drenched, consumer-driven future influenced later sci-fi hits, proving that even underrated movies can leave a lasting mark on the genre. If you haven't seen it yet, Cherry 2000 is a must-watch for anyone curious about the wilder side of 1980s sci-fi. Number 7, Miracle Mile, 1988. When Love and Armageddon Collide. Picture this, it's a quiet night in Los Angeles, and Harry, played by Anthony Edwards, fresh off Top Gun, is waiting for a date that could change his life. But the city's neon lights and gentle jazz are about to give way to pure chaos. On a simple phone call meant to reassure him, Harry learns the unimaginable: nuclear missiles are headed straight for LA in less than an hour. Suddenly, what starts as a romantic evening spirals into a frantic race against time. Every traffic light, every street corner, every passing stranger becomes a potential lifeline or a dead end. The tension is palpable, the pacing relentless, and the clock is merciless. Miracle Mile isn't just about a city on the brink of annihilation, it's about human vulnerability, desperation, and love under the shadow of certain doom. What makes this film stand out from the typical 80s sci-fi fare is its raw emotional edge. While most sci-fi of the decade leaned heavily on high-tech special effects or fantastical adventures, Miracle Mile delivers suspense that hits close to home. The cinematography makes Los Angeles feel both intimate and claustrophobic, capturing a city in panic like a ticking time bomb. And the soundtrack? An eerie, atmospheric score that keeps your heart racing long after the final scene. Despite its brilliance, Miracle Mile never received the wide recognition it deserved, yet it remains one of the most intense, emotionally gripping sci-fi thrillers of the 80s. If you love films that combine suspense, romance, and the terrifying what-if scenario of nuclear war, this is a must-watch gem waiting to be rediscovered. Fun fact, the film was shot mostly on location, using real Los Angeles streets at night. That authentic backdrop makes every moment feel chillingly real, heightening the tension beyond the usual sci-fi spectacle. So, if you haven't experienced Miracle Mile yet, grab your popcorn, buckle in, and prepare for a heart-pounding journey where every second counts, and the end of the world could be just a phone call away. 6. Sex Mission, 1984. A hilarious dystopian sci-fi you can't miss. Imagine waking up in a world where men no longer exist, and you're the last hope for humanity. That's the wild premise of Sex Mission, a brilliant and underappreciated 1984 Polish sci-fi comedy. Starring Jerzy Stur and Olgierd Lukaziewicz, this film blends futuristic adventure with razor-sharp satire, exploring gender, power, and society in ways way ahead of its time. In Sex Mission, two men volunteer for a daring experiment but wake up 50 years later to discover Earth is now ruled entirely by women, and men are officially banned. What follows is a madcap, laugh-out-loud series of attempts to survive, escape, and make sense of this topsy-turvy society. With a mix of sci-fi gadgets, clever political allegory, and comedic timing that rivals the best Hollywood comedies. It's a hidden gem that deserves far more attention. Despite being lesser known internationally, Sex Mission has influenced sci-fi humor for decades and remains a cult classic in Poland and beyond. Its commentary on gender politics is still surprisingly relevant, making it more than just a quirky 80s comedy. It's a bold, entertaining exploration of human nature itself. If you love films that make you laugh, think, and gasp at futuristic inventions all at once, Sex Mission is a must-watch. Rediscover it now and see why this underrated gem has earned a permanent place in the Sci-Fi Hall of Fame. 5. Night of the Comet, 1984. Imagine waking up to find the world around you wiped out, your town reduced to eerie silence, and the only signs of life are scattered survivors and glowing red skies. That's exactly what happens in Night of the Comet, a thrilling blend of sci-fi, comedy, and post-apocalyptic adventure that somehow flies under the radar even among 80s cult classics. Starring Catherine Mary Stewart and Kelly Maroney as two teenage sisters, the film follows their fight for survival after a mysterious comet wipes out most of humanity, leaving behind zombies and a radioactive wasteland. What sets this film apart is its clever mix of campy humor, genuine tension, and surprisingly sharp commentary on survival and society. It's part horror, part sci-fi, and 100% fun, with iconic scenes of the sisters scavenging malls for supplies while the world crumbles outside. Despite its low budget, Night of the Comet became a cult favorite thanks to its quirky charm, strong female leads, and unforgettable 80s vibe. If you love sci-fi with a playful twist and some post-apocalyptic flair, this is the hidden gem you absolutely need to rediscover. Fun fact: the film inspired a generation of 80s post-apocalyptic media, from Terminator to Resident Evil, proving that you don't need millions of dollars to leave a lasting mark on sci-fi culture. 4. Starman, 1984. The Alien Who Learned to Feel. In the midst of the 80s sci-fi boom, John Carpenter's Starman might have quietly slipped under the radar for many, but it's a gem that blends romance, human emotion, and otherworldly wonder like few films of its era. The story begins when a mysterious alien, taking on the form of a deceased husband, appears on Earth. With nothing but innocence and curiosity, he navigates a world filled with fear, suspicion, and unexpected beauty. Jeff Bridges delivers an Oscar-nominated performance as the titular Starman, portraying an alien learning what it means to love, trust, and even drive a car, all while avoiding government agents determined to capture him. The chemistry between Bridges and Karen Allen is magical, making the sci-fi more than just special effects. It becomes profoundly human. What makes Starman truly worth rediscovering today is its emotional depth. Unlike the high-octane, tech-heavy sci-fi of the 80s, this film reminds us that the greatest adventure might just be learning to understand one another. From breathtaking visuals of the alien spacecraft to moments of tender humor and heartache, Starman is a sci-fi love story that resonates across generations. So if you're hunting for an 80s sci-fi that's equal parts alien wonder and human heart, Starman is a journey you don't want to miss. Number 3. Kinzaza, 1986. A surreal sci-fi odyssey like no other. Imagine being whisked away to a world so bizarre, it feels like a dream, or maybe a dystopian nightmare, where the rules of society are twisted beyond recognition. That's exactly what Soviet filmmakers Georgy Danilia and Yevgeny Schwartz achieved with Kinzaza. Set in a desolate desert-like planet called Pluck, this darkly comic sci-fi follows two ordinary men from Earth who accidentally find themselves stranded in a civilization obsessed with absurd hierarchies, strange customs, and bizarre slang that sounds almost alien, because it is. Every interaction is a mix of satirical humor, social commentary, and outright surrealism, making the film feel like a hybrid between Brazil and Mad Max, but with a sharp, philosophical twist. What makes Kinzaza a hidden gem is how it manages to critique human greed, conformity, and absurdity while still delivering outrageous, laugh-out-loud moments. The minimalist yet haunting visuals, combined with its absurdist dialogue and iconic Patsack hand gesture, make it an unforgettable cinematic experience. For anyone who thinks they've seen all the classic sci-fi of the 80s, this film is a revelation, strange, funny, and profoundly thought-provoking all at once. If you love movies that challenge your perspective and linger in your mind long after the credits roll, Kinzaza is a must-watch rediscovery. Fun fact, despite being made during the Soviet era, the film's message about societal absurdity and human folly feels startlingly relevant even today. 2. The Final Countdown, 1980. When the past meets the future. Imagine this. A modern nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, the USS Nimitz, is sailing across the Pacific when a strange storm engulfs it. But this isn't just any storm. When it clears, the crew realizes something impossible has happened. They've been transported back to December 6, 1941, just one day before the infamous attack on Pearl Harbor. The Final Countdown is a thrilling blend of military action and mind-bending science fiction. Watching the crew grapple with the knowledge of history and the ethical dilemma of whether they should intervene is as gripping today as it was over 40 years ago. Will they change history or let fate run its course? What makes this film stand out is its authentic naval realism. Real Navy aircraft, carriers, and meticulously recreated World War II planes make every aerial sequence pulse with intensity. And the story? It doesn't just entertain, it makes you question what you would do if you had the power to rewrite history. Despite its star-studded cast and innovative concept, The Final Countdown often gets overlooked in lists of classic 80s sci-fi. But for fans of alternate history, suspenseful time travel, and high-stakes action, this film is an absolute hidden gem worth rediscovering. If you love movies where science fiction meets real-world tension, this is a must-watch. And trust me, those iconic carrier launch sequences will stick in your memory long after the credits roll. 1. Enemy Mine, 1985. Friendship Beyond Galaxies. Imagine being stranded on a hostile alien planet, facing starvation, danger, and the complete unknown, but the only companion you have is your sworn enemy. That's the heart of Enemy Mine, a 1985 sci-fi gem that didn't get the attention it deserved when it first hit theaters. The story follows human pilot Willis Davidge and alien warrior Jerry Shergon, forced to survive together after a brutal interstellar war leaves them marooned. What starts as distrust and hostility slowly evolves into one of the most touching portrayals of friendship and understanding in sci-fi cinema. It's a story that transcends species, conflict, and even language barriers, showing that compassion and cooperation can flourish in the most unlikely circumstances. With groundbreaking makeup effects for its alien characters, an emotionally charged storyline, and themes of war, prejudice, and shared humanity, Enemy Mine is much more than a survival tale. It's a timeless narrative that resonates even today. For viewers seeking a sci-fi film that blends adventure, drama, and emotional depth, this underrated 80s classic is a must-watch. Its combination of interstellar action and heart-tugging storytelling makes it perfect for audiences who love thought-provoking cinema with a pulse-pounding backdrop. And that's a wrap, sci-fi fans. Those were 10 great underrated 80s sci-fi films that absolutely deserve a second look, hidden gems full of imagination, thrills, and nostalgia. Which one blew your mind the most? Or is there another forgotten 80s classic you think should have made the list? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing from you. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button now to join the Globewise TV family, where we explore the best of forgotten cinema, hidden gems, and cult classics from every era. Until next time, keep your imagination alive, and remember, sometimes the best sci-fi stories aren't the ones everyone talks about, they're the ones waiting to be rediscovered.